Are you guys ready for your headliner? Yes, I knew you would do it. She's been seen on ABC, TNN, Style Network, She was called by New York Post one of the funniest comics in America. She also has a great book called The Tao of Comedy. Please put your hands together for the very funny Bobbie Oliver!
Caesar salad, but thank you. Give it up for Jeff and Tom and Chris. All the guys in the show, they're so awesome. I appreciate when people take me seriously enough to wear their Sunday best, so thank you for caring. Am I the only one that had trouble finding this place tonight? Did anybody else get lost? You're like, no, you're an idiot, Bobbie. I got so lost. All right. Every time I have a show, people always call me all day and ask me for directions to the show. And inevitably, a man will always ask, is that on the southeast corner of the street? What am I, Pocahontas? I don't fucking know. It's on the left. Don't ever ask a woman if something is on the east. I don't have a sundial on me. Or whatever instrument one would use to determine that. I'm realizing it's probably not a sundial. I live in LA. I was driving in Hollywood recently and I was really high. I don't know if that's for Hollywood or being really high. I'm always high, but I was high. And of course, I stop at a red light and there's a cop car sitting right next to me. Of course. So I have one of these Cheech and Chong moments oh shit, I'm too high, oh my god, I'm too high. And I look at the cops and they look at me and they waved at me. That's it. That's all they did, they just waved at me. And I was like, oh, this is white privilege. I've heard of that. It's paying off for me in West Hollywood. That's a true story. I just waved back. So I'm in a really good mood because I just celebrated an anniversary. I have been with my husband for 25 years. I just want to see where it goes before I put out. 25 years, which means obviously I've had 24 shitty Valentine's Days. Married women, appreciate that. And so I'm a good wife. I was like, hey honey, I've got an idea. Do you want to have a three-way for our anniversary? He said, your belly dancing teacher. Okay. Clearly you thought about this before now, okay. So I told my belly dancing teacher, I was like, I don't know if this is going to offend you. And she said, a belly dancer's job is to appear to be a sexual being to everyone in the room. She said, so by you telling me that, it proves that I've done my job. I was like, that is awesome. But you still didn't answer the question about the three-way. Because I haven't gotten him anything yet. Where are the couples? Couples, do you have the same sex drive or different sex drives? They're like, don't talk to us. Why are you talking to us? Okay, well, they were like, I knew we shouldn't have sat in the front row. Fuck. We have completely different sex drives. I want to have sex twice a day.
Yeah.
Right? And he doesn't. So I think we should compromise and have sex twice a day. Because I'm a team player. So when you've been together a long time, you have to mix it up, So now when I want Chris to pay attention to me, I take off all my clothes and I cover my naked body with kung fu movies and early 80s punk albums. It is on. I make fun of him, but honestly, I'd rather be in a cardboard box with him than be in a mansion without him. I just hope that box has a pool boy. Don't really need the pool. I was watching TV like 3 o'clock the other morning. That movie Ghost came on. You know what I'm talking about? With Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore, right? And it was the romantic scene. You know, the pottery scene. And she's making the pot. He comes up behind her and embraces her. And the pot collapses. And the music's playing. And I was watching that thinking, man, you can so tell from that scene that they're newlyweds. Right? Because if they've been married a long time, she'd be like, what the fuck? I'm trying to make a pie. You always do this. Pottery is me time. We've talked about this. Speaking of romantic, y'all know that song, You Are So Beautiful to Me? I just heard that on the radio recently. You are so beautiful to me. And I was like, oh man, I bet the woman that song was written for really gave him shit about the to me part. She's like, seriously? To me? You had to put a qualifier on that shit? He was like, I don't care what anybody else says, baby. You're beautiful to me. What was the first draft of that song? You were so ugly to everyone else. I'm just saying there was a fight. There was a fight. You know how, like, when someone's annoyed with you and they don't really say anything, but you can, like, totally feel it in their voice? Well, that's what being married is like. And, like, my husband's a comedian. He was up here earlier, Chris Oliver. And, yes. So we work together. So we're together all day, every day. All day, every day. All day. Every day. So if anybody'd like to come by my house and stab me in the eye with a fork, that'd be great. I mean, honestly, you know, he's awesome, but I have to admit, I got the 20-year itch. I am itching to fuck a 20-year-old. So, guys in the back, call me. Like I said earlier, I'm a good wife. I fulfill any fantasy he wants, anything he wants me to do, but honestly, I secretly hope it's his fantasy to watch me fuck a 20-year-old. Because that would be awesome. I don't know if you guys ever saw this on Oprah, but there was this guy on there who had had an affair for 10 years, and his wife never suspected anything. For 10 years. Y'all, there is no way that my husband could orchestrate a 10-year affair unless I helped him. I would have to leave him little yellow sticky notes on the fridge. Fuck your secretary at 2 o'clock. Don't forget, it's her birthday. I'd be the one buying her presents and stuff. Before I got married, I was, what do you call it? Oh yeah, slut. Any other sluts? Fellow sluts? Yeah. All right, in the back. But young girls, okay, take it from me. Now that I'm older, I can totally look back on that and I can see it for what it really was. The best fucking time. And I miss it. I kind of miss it. But I'm older now. I'm over 40. We got any women in the room over 40? Nobody's gonna clap? No women in the room over 40? Pay attention, guys. These are some horny bitches. Okay? Right? A woman turns 40, our sex drive goes through the roof. A man turns 40, it goes through the basement. So now, I swear to God, my husband actually has rules about how often we can have sex. Because evidently I'm a pest. I wish I was making this up. One of his rules is only once a day. So because I got breakfast, I don't get dinner. And he has to have every 4th day off. I'm like, for what? He's like, I'm saving up. He has no idea how much money we have in the bank. He knows how much he has in his bank. I guess it's insufficient funds. This is the craziest one. No sex after midnight.
What?
Right? What the? I guess his dick turns into a gremlin. Can't feed it. Or get it wet. I love dirty talk in bed. Anybody like dirty talk?
Yeah.
These guys, are you like dirty talk? All right. I love it. My husband hates it. He hates it, and he sucks at it. So I've been thinking about hiring a ghostwriter. Crouch by our bed and tell him what to say. We're in the middle of it. I'm like, oh yeah, Daddy, you like that? And Chris goes, line. The ghostwriter's like, tell her she's a good girl. Chris is like, she's a good girl. I mean, you're a good girl. So finally, I just end up fucking the ghostwriter. At least Chris gets a night off. So, I married a wild man, but after 20 years of me, I've done turned him sensitive. I turned my husband into a feminist. And I was like, hey, honey, I've got an idea. Let's mix it up. Why don't you dominate me, right? Why don't you spank my ass and pull my hair? And he goes, oh, I can't do that. That's misogynistic. That's violence against women. I'm like, oh my God, will you quit empathizing with me and just fuck me already? And then he started liking the domination thing just a little too much. Okay, we're sitting there one night after dinner, y'all. He looks at me and goes, wash your dishes, bitch. You better save that shit for the bedroom. That shit don't fly in the kitchen. We watch a lot of documentaries because we're married, and he makes me. Who likes documentaries? Like documentaries? You like Ken Burns documentaries?
Woo!
You like? Oh yeah, never has anybody ever been that enthusiastic for Ken Burns. But here's the great thing about Ken Burns documentaries: they're in real time. The one on the Civil War lasted 3 hours longer than the war. I was like, I surrender. On behalf of the South. Can we turn this fucking thing off? One night he was like, hey honey, I've got an idea. Do you want to watch a documentary tonight about burros? I'm like, really? It's come to this? That's what we do now on Saturday nights? We sit around the house and watch documentaries about donkeys? He's like, no, silly, William S. Burroughs. I was like, oh, that's worse. What, they got one on donkeys? And also saw this, I don't remember the name of it, but we saw this documentary about the music scene in Laurel Canyon in the 60s. And here's what I learned from that, y'all. It said that Jim Morrison was a gentle soul. Yes, it said when he wasn't setting his girlfriend on fire, he was a gentle soul. Much like the Dalai Lama or Ike Turner. Seriously, who you gotta set on fire to not be called a gentle soul? Seriously, a man? Oh, we also saw, we saw this horrible documentary on cosmetics testing on animals.
Oh.
Right, we should not be doing these tests on animals, right?
Right.
Y'all don't give a shit about animals. One guy cares about animals. Remind me to never let y'all pet sit for me. We should be doing these tests on serial killers.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Like, we gotta spend all this money keeping Charles Manson in prison for the rest of his life. We couldn't stop by every now and then and put a little shampoo in his eye? Tell him it's all part of Helter Skelter? Or tell him it's a wedding present? Right, because he just got married. I know. That doesn't make you feel bad. So I told him, I said, okay, I'm bored, all right? This year, we're either going to adopt a baby or start swinging. he chose swinging. But he like just barely chose it. He was really on the fence for a while. He was like, I don't know, raise a baby, have sex with strangers, which is less awkward? So he was like, okay, we'll swing. He goes, all right, just go find us some people. Why do I have to be the one to find us some people? He goes, because it's your hobby. So I found us some people. Turns out it wasn't really that hard. And so, you know, we're talking, these people, they want to go on this swingers date with us, okay? And the guy texted me and he was like, do y'all want to go to karaoke? And I texted back, can't we just fuck? Because I thought the point of swinging is that you never had to go to karaoke. And so we go on this date, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if he likes me. Or I wonder if she likes Chris. I wonder if Chris likes her. I wonder if he likes him. I wonder, oh, Jesus Christ, this is the most stressful date I've ever been on in my life. And it's clear from the very beginning that I'm expected to hook up with the other woman. Like, nobody even asked. They're just like, you're just supposed to hook up with the other one. And I was like, can't we just do this the regular way? And I fuck your husband? Because that's the paradigm I'm used to. And then I was like, okay, I'll eat pussy for the team. Whatever. I'll do it. And then, okay. So, I'm a good one. I told you. So check it out. They said they wanted to hook up with us and they would do it under one condition. That I never talk about it on stage. I was like, I would never do that. But then I got thinking about it and I could not go through with it. And I could not, and here's why, okay? Women filming, right? I'm really good at looking good at one angle. In bed, you know, like just the one angle. Just whatever angle you're fucking me from. Like I can look good. I can't be worried about like secondary angles and tertiary angles. I can't be worried about people from across the room looking at me. What I'm saying is I can't fuck in the round. So we didn't do it just because of that. That's literally the only reason. So I'm from Athens, Georgia, and I live in LA, and there are a lot of freaks in LA. I don't know if y'all knew this, but in Georgia, you walk into a Denny's on a Sunday, not wearing church clothes. Everybody turns around and looks at you like you're there to rob the place. In LA, you walk into a Denny's and your waiter has tattoos all over his face, right, and a bone through his nose. Suddenly, Bobbie doesn't seem so threatening in my Beastie Boys t-shirt after all. And I moved there for comedy. Anybody ever moved across the country for their career? Anybody ever done anything at all? Yeah. We're born and raised in this room. Corner over there. Well, when you do something that drastic, like move 3,000 miles for your career, suddenly your career takes on all this importance that it normally wouldn't have. There's all this pressure. And I told my friend one day, I said, here's my fantasy. And she leaned in, like it was going to be good. And I was like, oh no, it's not a sexual fantasy. It's a career fantasy. And then I realized all of my fantasies are career fantasies. I have no sexual fantasies left. Like the other day, I caught myself masturbating to the image of me winning an Emmy. Is that wrong? She's like, no, I'm just kidding. It was an Oscar. Because that would do it, right? So, I live in LA, and a friend of mine was walking me back to my car recently, and he was like, Bobbie, you probably shouldn't be parked beside the homeless encampment. You probably shouldn't park next to the shanty town. He goes, it's not safe. It's dangerous. And I'm like, why? They're just homeless people. They're not criminals. Right? I'm not scared of homeless people. Every guy who ever attacked me had a job. And a studio apartment. So I give homeless people $5. That's my thing, because what can you do with $1, right? So there's this guy, I own a comedy school, and there was this guy near my studio. He's at this gas station, and he has Cookie Monster drawn on his sign, and it's really well done. And he has a terrible limp, y'all. He has a terrible limp. It takes him a really long time to get to the car. He has like a really, really bad limp. And so for like twice a week for a year or more, I've been stopping and giving this guy $5. And y'all, the other day I saw him walking down the street normally.
Yep.
I was like, I feel so betrayed. I was like, I can understand you lying to the rest of these assholes, but this is me. I thought we had a connection. So I realized for the last year, I've just been paying this guy to do improv. He's really good, though. He probably went to Groundlings. But you know what? I'm going to keep giving him $5 because he probably only came up with the lip because it wasn't enough for people that he was just starving. So I'm going to give him $5. And hopefully he will continue his improv career. So I was, recently I did this show and this homeless guy came up to me afterward and he goes, "Can I talk to you outside?" And I said, "I'm good." I'm good. And he goes, "No, can I talk to you outside?" And I said, "You can talk to me right here if you want to." And he goes, "I'll eat your pussy."
Oh!
Well, it is tempting. Like he knew the pickup line to use on me. Right? But here's the crazy thing. Every single one of my friends I've told this story to has been like, "Was he cute? Was he cute?" I was like, "Oh my God, no. He wasn't cute. Are you kidding me? If he was cute, this would be the story about that one time that homeless guy ate my pussy." I'm just kidding. He was cute. He was kind of cute. There's this public storage building in Hollywood that's the biggest building I've ever seen in my life. It's like the Church of Public Storage. And they have a sign out front that reads, "Our storage units are climate controlled."
Yeah.
Y'all, there are people on this planet that don't have clean drinking water. But at least our old yearbooks aren't hot. My house is not climate controlled. I'm thinking about moving into the public storage building. I live in this town called Eagle Rock, and there's a public storage. Oh, Eagle Rock. Can I get around home? All right. All right, so you know there's a public storage there, right? And when you come off the exit, you have to look at it. You're stuck there. You have to look at it. And there's a community scroll sign, and the person who runs it is an idiot. And he doesn't understand grammar or punctuation marks, especially quotation marks, and you're stuck there. You have to look at it every time. There's no avoiding it. All right, feel me. This week, the sign reads, "Don't be a victim." Right? Okay. What I'm saying is, if y'all hear about somebody taking a baseball bat to the public storage sign, it wasn't me. It was me. It was me. That's a punctuation joke. So one of my biggest pet peeves is when other blondes go, "I'm such a dumb blonde. I'm such a dumb blonde." I know, I just want to go, "No, you're not. You're just dumb. Don't drag me into it." Right? I'm blonde, I have big boobs and a southern accent. You can imagine how seriously people take me. I'm like the trifecta of stupid stereotypes. I feel like when I come on stage and people first hear my accent, they expect me to be Jeff Foxworthy. You know, or Larry the Cable Guy. And then I tell a couple of jokes. They're like, "Oh my God, she has ideas and opinions. Burn the witch!" Get her done. Like I said, I'm a pothead, and I heard on Bill Maher, so it must be true. That if I had not started smoking pot so young, I would be 8 IQ points higher than I am now. 8 IQ points higher than I am now. In this society. No, thank you. Right? I already find it a burden to be as smart as I am now. I don't need 8 more IQ points on the idiocracy. My first words were, "I gotta dumb it down." So did y'all know that they changed the definition of the word literally in the dictionary?
Yes.
You knew that, right?
English.
Anybody else know it? Nobody seems to know about this. They changed it, but you bet me up. They changed the definition of the word literally in the dictionary because the stupid people kept getting it wrong. So instead of just teaching the stupid people the right definition of the word, they changed the definition in the dictionary. So now literally still means literally, and it also means figuratively.
Yep.
And it means snow in Eskimo. Literally and figuratively are opposites. And my husband, Chris, he's an English teacher, and he's like, it doesn't matter, language changes. It does matter. It matters. I need to know, are you literally having a heart attack? Do I literally need to call 911, or are you just being poetic? I'm sorry, I thought he was being poetic. I thought he was figuratively having a heart attack. I'm glad y'all felt me on this because I'm so pissed off about this. I'm not going to do anything about it. But I'm so pissed off about this. So when you're a comic, you're always walking to your car after the show at night, very often by yourself. And recently I was doing a show at the Improv in Hollywood, and I was walking home, walking to my car, and I felt this guy walking behind me. And that's a crazy neighborhood, so I start walking faster. So he starts walking faster. And I was like, oh shit. Like sex pervert, serial killer, right? I'm imagining all the things he's gonna try to get me to do to him on the side of the road. So I take off running, which I don't do very often. Okay. I take off running, y'all. He takes off running after me. I swear to God, down the streets of LA, he takes off running, scared the shit out of me. He comes right up to me this far from my face, goes, excuse me. Have you accepted Jesus Christ as your personal Savior? What? I thought you were supposed to... You sure you don't just want a blowjob? Or to kill me? Maybe. I'm worried about Ebola. Who's worried about Ebola? I am. I'm worried about Ebola. Y'all American kids can't even handle peanuts. What are our little autistic peanut-fearing children going to do? That's a Monsanto joke. You just realize it. Kids don't learn cursive anymore. Who knew that? They don't learn cursive anymore. They don't learn to write cursive. Which means they can't read cursive. Which means they can't read the Constitution. I mean, luckily we don't use it anymore. Habeas corpus, sorry, I got high on the balcony earlier. Habeas corpus, schmabeus porpoise. But what if it still mattered? That joke only exists so I can say schmabeus porpoise on stage. So my nephew told me that Outback Steakhouse canceled the Bloomin' Onion, and people lost their minds. White people, I'm assuming. Lost their damn minds. People protested, they wrote letters, they showed up, they raised hell, and they brought back the Bloomin' Onion. Y'all, we can't get people to vote in midterm elections. But you can rally behind an onion. Seriously, that's what we need to do. We need to, instead of giving people the I have voted sticker, we need to give everybody a Bloomin' Onion. Because that's what we need, more white people voting. That'll fix things. I'm addicted to HGTV. Anybody like HGTV? You like HGTV? Isn't it like the Playgirl channel? They have the hottest dudes on HGTV. You will never see an average dude on HGTV. You will see the frumpiest housewives. You will never see an average looking dude. Which made me think there should be a fireman channel. Right? The guy doesn't really do anything. He just kind of stands there with a hose. I would totally watch that. I was watching HGTV recently. Maybe you saw this. And the woman requested a Mad Men makeover. So the designer told her to shut up and fix him a drink. I can't watch Mad Men. Do you watch Mad Men? As a woman watching Mad Men, I'm like, oh, this must be what it feels like for black people to watch Roots. I don't fetch a lot of drinks at my house, y'all. I'm not a housewife. I'm more of a field wife. Thanks for getting that. So recently on HGTV, this couple bought a second home a few miles away from their first home so they could be closer to restaurants on the weekend. That's not a joke, that's just how my suicide note begins. Pay my rent. So did any women here get Cosmo magazine? Good, because you'd be part of the problem. I wish somebody did so they could back me up that I'm not bullshitting. My friend gets Cosmo, and recently on the cover, I swear to God, it said 50 secrets to please your man. And one of the secrets was, he wants to finish on your breasts. Okay, I don't need a magazine to tell me a guy wants to come on my tits. That's not a secret. They usually lead with that. Guys say the grossest things. Why do you say the grossest things? This guy was like, Bobbie, your breasts are so pretty, I want to come all over them. Your mouth is so pretty, I want to come all in it. I said, remind me to never take you to a museum. You know, they have pretty things there. So, if you watch TV and movies, you probably believe that women are obsessed with shoes. What is this idea that women, I think men are obsessed with shoes. Men are the ones, because men are always like, oh yeah, I like you in those heels. I could fuck you in those boots. You should wear those roller skates to bed. Women aren't like that. Women are not like, oh yeah, you should wear those Nikes when you fuck me, daddy. Those Adidas over here. Has anybody ever been to the Other Flappers?
Yeah.
The Other Flappers is next to a Hooters. And I always park at Hooters. And I noticed recently there was a sign in the window that said, yes, we do have a children's menu. And I thought, thank God. Because I'm pretty sure little Billy's ready to start objectifying women, but he can't quite finish a full plate of chicken finger shift. What's a mom to do? I used to date this guy that said, I would never marry a woman that made more money than me. I said, then you need to cruise the homeless shelters. Because you're a broke son of a bitch. I notice you don't mind when I pick up lunch. Never marry a woman made more money than me. Mr. Always in the bathroom and the check comes, motherfucker. I notice you don't mind dating a woman that makes more money than me. So you guys all know about the Bill Cosby thing going on, right? You know, it's so funny to me that every time someone famous rapes someone, or 20 someone's, and we actually find out about it, there's all these people that always go online, all these rape apologists, and they always say the same thing. They're always like, when a woman gets drunk and fucks a guy and regrets it, she tells everybody it's rape. Okay, no, she doesn't. Okay, look, when a woman gets drunk and fucks a guy and regrets it, she doesn't tell anybody. She doesn't tell anybody. She takes that shit to the grave. Maybe her best friend knows, depending on how disgusting the guy was. She's not gonna call 911. Get it on the record. Let's get some DNA involved. You know, assuming she can actually afford to pay for her own rape kit and they ever actually process it. Y'all, if I had time to get my name dragged through the media every time I got drunk and fucked a guy I regretted, I wouldn't have time to fuck guys I regret. That takes up a lot of my time. Also, this guy said to me, Bobbie, if women are so smart, how come men invented everything? It's called birth control. Okay? Before Margaret Sanger started smuggling diaphragms into the country, women were having babies until we literally dropped dead. Right? It's kind of hard hanging out in the basement for 10 years perfecting the phonograph when you got 12 kids hanging off your tits. You weren't a genius, Skippy. You just had free time. So I am from Athens, Georgia, and I moved here a while ago, and I guess you could say I'm cliche because like every actor and comedian in LA, I moved there because I had a dream.
Aww.
My dream was to get the hell away from my family. So I've made it. Have y'all seen that Ancestry.com commercial? You can find relatives you didn't even know existed. Gee, because the ones I know about are so awesome. You know, has anyone ever once been at a family gathering and been like, oh, if only there were more of these assholes? If only I could find relatives I didn't even know existed. I just hope they can't find me on Ancestry.com. That is my biggest fear. Can someone please tell my daddy that forwarding me racist emails is not the same thing as keeping in touch? Does anybody get those crazy emails from your family? I'm the only one with a racist family. My daddy goes back and forth with sending me racist anti-Obama emails and racist cute kitten pictures. And by the way, you don't get to order all of your prescriptions from Canada and complain about socialized health care. You don't get to do that, because that's the same thing. I grew up really poor. Anybody grew up poor? Just one person? A bunch of rich motherfuckers? Claremont, yeah. Nobody moved here from somewhere poor? Who said they grew up poor? Usually poor people are much louder than that. Usually we're like, woo, woo. We're like, yes, I grew up. Okay, I don't know what you had going on, but this is a true story. When I was growing up, there were 7 of us in a 1-bedroom, 2-bath, I forgot. I'm high. I'm not high, that's the problem. There were 7 of us in a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom trailer. Ooh. Yeah, I remember my brother went to prison. He wrote me a letter. Dear Bobbie, this place is a palace. They only got 2 guys to a room. They eat 3 times a day. He said, I want to stay here forever. He said, I got a plan. They try to let me out of here, I'm going to kill somebody. All right, my daddy heard me say that one time, and he goes, Bobbie, you are not from a trailer park. We owned our own trailer and land. Ooh, sorry. I guess I should have told that to the bullies when they were beating my ass at the bus stop every morning. Aww. Stop hitting me! You don't understand. We own our own trailer.
And the land.
My sister's one of these people. She won't read a newspaper, and she won't watch the news on TV, but she is addicted to the History Channel. So if you want her opinion on a current event, you have to wait like 100 years. She's going to be so excited when she finds out we had a black president. They took off an episode of my favorite TV show because they said it was a bad influence on kids. They didn't do that when we were little, did they?
No.
Hell no. Y'all, when we were little, after watching Mary Poppins, my sister jumped off the roof of our trailer with an umbrella. And nobody said cancel Mary Poppins. They just said, hey, that girl's stupid. And she is. My grandmother passed away, and my sister moved into her house. And my sister didn't pay the electricity on time, so my daddy freaked out and said that she was ruining my dead grandmother's name. Apparently people were going around Georgia saying, that Frances Evans wasn't dead 2 months before she let the light bill get behind. It is so important to have good credit after you're dead. My whole family is a bunch of like meth heads and alcoholics and middle school dropouts, and I'm the disappointment. I'm the disappointment of the family because I'm liberal. Yeah, I'm the black sheep in a family of racist sheep. My family thinks we're cursed. I swear to God. They keep talking about the family curse, the family curse. I'm like, y'all, we're not the Kennedys. We just make really bad decisions. Get a GED. The curse will be lifted. And George is really racist. And, I forgot what it was like until I went back recently because I've been here so long. And, oh my God, the language there is terrible. If you can get past the N-word, the double negatives will kill you.
Yeah.
I swear to God, y'all, my brother looked me dead in the face when I was there and said, "We ain't got no colored people on my street."
Oh.
I was like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. We don't have any colored people on my street. He's so ignorant. That's another grammar joke. And my sister starts going on and on about the Orientals.
Oh, God.
The Orientals. I thought she was being attacked by a rug. Finally I go, "Do you mean Asians?" She goes, "Well, I say Oriental." I said, "Well, I say it's 2015. She goes, "Well, my Oriental friends don't mind." I said, "Well, clearly you don't have any." And she goes, "Well, I don't consider Japanese Asian." Really? Because I don't consider geography a matter of opinion. What's Georgia but buy a map? My oldest brother is a fundamentalist evangelical minister, or as I like to call him, asshole for short. I have a theory that we could solve all the world's problems if we just banned religion. I was probably high when I came up with that theory. But that we just ban, because y'all, religion is not the opium of the masses. Religion is the Jose Cuervo of the masses. Religion is the, hey, let's go kick the shit out of that guy of the masses. Except for Buddhism. I don't think I would ban Buddhism. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, "Oh, went to a Buddhist high school, that fucked me up." All that chanting and meditation, Jesus Christ. So many years ago, my husband and I adopted my sister's 2 kids.
Oh.
Thank you, because we're saints. We're saints. Oh, she's not dead or anything, she's just a loser. And we were their godparents, so we always knew we could get them in the event of my sister's death. But what we didn't know is that we could get them in the event of crystal meth.
Oh.
So read the fine print. And they were teenagers. Anybody got teenagers? Yeah, explains the drinking. One person's happy about it. The rest of them are like, oh, they're little shits. When you have teenagers, you know this, you have to talk to them about drugs. You do, you can't avoid it. I tried. One day, y'all, they actually sat me down. They're like, "Bobbie, you're too old to smoke pot." They said, "If your friends really liked you, they wouldn't care if you did drugs." I said, "Shouldn't you be somewhere smoking cigarettes and having premarital sex?" And my niece is always wanting, like the latest Walkman and everything. I mean, the Walkman. Now I know where my people are at. I know, I like his iPod. And I will get it for her, and she's like, "Well, how much do you spend on pot?" I said, "Not enough to put up with your bullshit." There's not enough pot in the world for that. And she's gothic. Do y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Dress all in black. Who knew that was so expensive? It costs a lot of money, look like hell. You know, they don't exactly sell those combat boots at Target. And those satanic t-shirts aren't cheap either. Who knew 666 was the fucking price tag? So I married a geek, and then we adopted a couple of little mini geeks. So now we get to sit around the dinner table every night talking about stuff like The Hobbit and Dungeons and Dragons. You know, I just want to get through one meal without talking about the Bridge of Aragon, the Sword of Avondale. I'm like, Jesus Christ, am I the only one in this family I've got laid in high school? Before the kids got to us, they were homeschooled.
Oh.
My sister with the 8th grade education. Homeschool. I think it was a little more emphasis on home and a little less on school. So then homeschool meant she got to sleep all day and the kids would sit around in their underwear eating Fruity Pebbles and watching the History Channel. They don't know the square root of 4, but they're fucking experts on Cleopatra. Just so important in this world. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I've recently decided that I want my child to become a comedian.
Yeah.
So I've started to neglect her. I have planned a rigorous program of harsh criticism and mixed messages. She's going to be hilarious. I was interviewed on NPR once, and they asked me why people become comedians, and I said, well, obviously, because our mothers don't love us. And my sister told my mama that I said on the radio that she didn't love me. And my mama goes, well, I know Bobbie's a comedian, and it's her job to exaggerate things that are a little true. That bitch! I knew it! I fucking knew it. I was hanging around a bunch of my girlfriends one night. Every single one of them said that when they were growing up, their mother read their diary. Every one of them. My friend was like, oh my God, when my mother read my diary, she found out I wasn't a virgin anymore. I was like, yo, if my mother had read my diary, she would have found out that I existed. Someone else lives here? Don't worry, I'll make a lot of money making fun of that bitch. That's my mom. So I come from a long line of drug addicts, as I said earlier, but I had this one aunt, she was the best. Okay, she was on 22 different prescriptions at one time, all of which she had written herself.
Wow.
Because she stole her doctor's prescription pad. Isn't that the best? Isn't that awesome? But check it out, she went to jail. My old aunt got arrested. I don't know, I guess the pharmacy got suspicious when the prescriptions just started saying downers. Something to take the edge off. That's a true story too. You guys are awesome, by the way. You guys are really, really awesome. So for a while when I was a teenager, I lived with my Southern Baptist grandmama. Woo, party all the time. And, I got home really late from a date one night, and y'all, she was freaking out on me. She's like, I just hope you realize that on Judgment Day, the good Lord is going to flash your life up in the sky like a movie picture for the whole world to see. Everything you ever did with any boy is going to be flashed up in the sky, just like a movie. What was I supposed to say? I was like, oh good, Grandmama, maybe God will roll the credits and I can find out what some of their names were.